And good morning, Derek. Derek Jackson is one of our directors here in Ed Services, and he also oversees English language development and support for English learners. So when we have our DELAC meetings for parents of English learners, you'll be hearing from Derek. So really great to see everybody here. Hi, Faith, welcome. If you're able to, please introduce yourself in the chat. Hi, Ida. Welcome. Great to see all of you. And I think we can go ahead and get started. So my name is Allison Lanier. I recognize some of the names from prior years. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. If you haven't met me yet, Allison Lanier, Deputy Superintendent Ed Services. So I work alongside the superintendent as part of the executive cabinet, and my department oversees everything related to teaching and learning and health and mental health, general ed and special ed here in CUSD. And one of the things I get to do is work with all of you as parent leaders in our district. So we're here for the first PAC and DELAC meeting of the year. And I'm going to give you a few kind of overview items to know what we're focused on this year as a district and what the role of this team is. And thank you everybody for saying hello in the chat. Hopefully all of you can see that too, to see who's here in our virtual meeting room. So thank you, great. So going on to our first item, every year our board with the superintendent sets district priorities for the year. And these are our 4 district priorities. We've had very similar priorities over the last few years. We've made some adjustments in response to feedback that we've received. The first one we have here on the slide is future ready learning. And hopefully you've been hearing about this at your school site. This is our goal, always our first goal is about our students and helping them thrive. So in this goal, we're talking about supporting each child in developing the skills and characteristics that they will need to succeed here in CUSD, but also beyond CUSD. And the way that we think about this is both academic skills and these core competencies that we call our portrait of a learner. And I'll be going into that a little bit more as we keep going here. Our second priority is community-wide engagement, and you are a really important part of this, both at the school level and at the district level. We know that your partnership and your engagement is a critical piece to what makes our school district a wonderful place for our kids. So we used to call this involvement, and now we call it engagement to better reflect that dialogue that we have, the partnership that we have, and all of the incredible things that you do as volunteers, contributing to the work that we do here in CUSD. The third one is fiscal responsibility, and this is always a goal that we keep in mind as well, to effectively and efficiently use district resources, operations, and processes to really focus on our goals for students. And that remains a strong focus area this year, as our funding model is now community funded, mainly property tax funded, and making sure that we are making decisions to best utilize the resources that we have now that many of those one-time relief funds from COVID have sunsetted. And then our fourth priority here is sense of belonging. We've been working on this for students for some years now, really helping to make sure all students feel connected and supported and that they have trusted adults at school. And this priority here is showing that we're taking this into our staff as well. We know our staff, they're the reasons why kids have great days at school. And we really want to be sure that all of our employees feel valued, feel connected, and feel that they can contribute to the organization while also promoting that work-life harmony. And in the center here, you might have seen this. We have stickers that show this here, our logo there with our tagline, each child, every child, whole child. That's been in place now for maybe 5 or 6 years. And this means that we are focused on ensuring that every child in our district has a wonderful experience and every child is thriving, as well as each child, knowing each child individually and the strengths that they bring to their classroom, their interests, their needs. And then whole child means that we have a balanced view. We know that children in these age ranges are growing academically, and that's really important. All those foundational skills in reading, writing, math, science, social studies, but also they're growing in all the other ways kids grow and develop socially and emotionally, learning to make friends, learning to navigate conflicts, gaining confidence. And they're also growing physically, where they're learning to reach new milestones. As for older kids, they may be competing in team sports activities. For younger kids, this looks like milestones like I can jump rope or I can do the monkey bars. All these ways that kids grow and develop are important in developing who they are now, but also who they're going to become. And that's what's beautiful about kids in this age is they're finding out, what do I like? Who will my friends be? What's important to me? And so we want to offer that really broad educational program that helps them, really gain that capability, but also that confidence in themselves. So that's what we are focused on this year. I'm going on to the next item. We'll talk about the role of PAC and DELAC. So you are part of a really important parent leadership group. We'll be having meetings throughout the year. And I wanted to touch on two different areas related to the purpose of this group. One is that just before COVID, we went through an extensive feedback process to develop our strategic plan to set the course for our district. And we had lots of engagement meetings with staff and community members and students and parents. And we came up with some core beliefs. And some of those pieces really touched on the importance of you and your leadership. So, one of the things that's called out in our strategic plan is that we really know and believe that when families, communities, and schools work together, our students are more successful and our entire community is stronger. So we are committed to partnering with you. And that's reflected in the second statement here, too. We will support student success and family engagement by building partnerships with parents and community organizations. So these are kind of our guiding principles that speak to why we're calling you together in this meeting. And then also, there are legal requirements related to this group in the California Education Code, which guides what we do in public schools. And so, kind of on a high level here, we recognize that you are leaders at your school site, and we want to ask for your partnership in understanding what we are doing in terms of district priorities. You will be working closely with your principals on their site goals and priorities through something called the SIPSA, which is the annual school improvement plan aligned to the district goals. And then, secondly, another really important piece that you will do in the spring is every year the district refreshes the 3-year improvement plan, which is called the Local Control and Accountability Plan. And we will be talking quite a lot about this once we get past winter break. The district looks at the assessment metrics, brings that to this group, and then we hold lots of feedback sessions and we refresh our improvement plan. And you have a special role to provide feedback on that plan and also a unique role to be able to ask questions directly of the superintendent regarding the LCAP, the Local Control and Accountability Plan, and to have your responses to those questions publicly posted on the website. So when we get to that, I'll explain more how all that works, but your feedback will be a really important part of us thinking about what we'll focus on for next school year. And then in DELAC, the District English Learner Advisory Committee, this is a merged group here where we have parent leaders of all kinds, but also some of you are parents of English learners. And there are specific California Education Code requirements for the role of DELAC. I don't know if you can make that open up, Miko, the link there where it says role of DELAC. But parents, if you are a parent of an English learner, or really any of you, you're welcome to click on that. It's going to take you to the California Department of Education page, and it lists the responsibilities and the requirements. And these are the things that our director, Derek Jackson, will be focusing on in the meetings. Do you want to say a quick hello, Derek?
Absolutely. Good morning and welcome to what will prove to be a productive school year where we're going to support our English language students to move from good to great. So anything that we can do in the process to give you support, please reach out. I hope to provide much information that will be useful for you and your students. So looking forward to a positive year.
Yes, and I will give a shout out to our English learner students. I always like to take every opportunity to point out that our English learner students, as we watch them go through their stages of language acquisition, we see that their achievement is really extraordinary. Over time, they reclassify, we call it, to become fluent in English. And this group of students is one of our very highest achieving groups of students in CUSD, because their brains are just, developing and making all kinds of connections as English learners. And many of our students, they have two or three or even four or more languages. So um, don't worry, if you're a parent of an English learner, we are there for you and your students, and our kids do so well. We can see that in our metrics when we compare our kids to other English learners across the state. So, lots of exciting things to be talking about in our DELAC meetings. Thank you. Okay, going on to the next item, future ready learning. So, you might remember as we were going over the district priorities, I was talking about district priority one, future ready learning. And I wanted to share a little bit more context about this. And parents, I hope that you will ask your school principal about what's happening at your school in this area. All of our schools are just doing such incredible work in this area, and our teachers are learning about this and working together to integrate these ideas this year. So, when we did our strategic plan a while back, we talked about the fact that we know academic skills are always will be so critical here in CUSD for our kids. And we also know that our world is changing so fast that academic skills alone are no longer enough for our kids to be able to thrive in the future. They need something more than just academics. And we call these our durable and transferable skills, meaning they stay over time, and they are transferable no matter the academic content area we're thinking about, and also transferable beyond their time here in CUSD and even beyond the walls of the school. So when we think about what kids need to be able to succeed, they need those academic content skills, specific standards that they learn about how to read or how to do math or how to think as a scientist, but also they need these skills that we call our portrait of a learner. So we're focused on these 7 skills: critical thinker, being an effective communicator, being a global contributor, having a positive impact on our world. And our world could be our classroom, our school, our neighborhood, or even bigger than that. Being an inclusive collaborator who can work with others, being using that creative energy to solve problems as an inspired creator, and also being able to navigate the ups and downs, the challenges that come from being a student and a citizen, being a resilient learner, all of that under a foundation of wellness and prioritizing taking care of ourselves. So these are the things that we have been focused on, is merging this with our academic content. And we've been using this graphic to explain that. That blue line there, rigorous content, those are the things that the state tells us kids must learn in their academic areas. But we also know that these skills and mindsets that we've talked about in our portrait of a learner work together with that content to provide what we say is deeper learning. So we want kids to be able to apply what they learn in their academic content in relevant, meaningful ways that will have staying power for them and help them build their capability and their confidence and their voice as learners. All of this, we have built this upon a foundation of looking at a variety of resources regarding how the world is changing and what will be needed for the future. So, one of the things that we keep a close eye on is the convening of the World Economic Forum. And so, this is a global convening, business leaders from across the world reporting on an analysis of what is needed in the next phase of work. What is the future of work? And this is updated annually. And so we've been keeping a close eye on this and listening to the keynote speeches from this event to really keep a pulse on what is happening outside education, that we need to keep an eye on as we're preparing the kids for the future. So looking at this, we see things like analytical thinking, creative thinking, AI and big data, resilience, flexibility, agility, curiosity, all of these things. We can kind of do that cross match with our portrait of a learner competencies. The things that we know our kids are needing are reflected here in what we're hearing from global leaders in the business world across the globe. So we are talking about future ready, deeper learning, not just basic academic content, which is important but not enough. We need both that academic content and those durable, transferable skills together to allow kids to work on really meaningful problem solving opportunities. So last year, we were talking about future ready learning with staff, and we were saying, what do we mean by that? Why is that important? And this year, we are talking about how will teachers begin to incorporate these things? So we are, oh, Nico, you might need to mute yourself. Sorry. Yeah. So we're in the house stage. So our teachers are working together, and we have focal competencies that all, hang on. Oh, Miko, sorry.
What?
Mute yourself. You might want to mute yourself.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. And you go back to the other slide. That's okay. We're just getting used to first meeting of the year here. Anyway, all of our classrooms this year are focusing on these two competencies: inclusive collaborator and effective communicator. And so you might notice this as your teachers are working this year. These are two areas where, we've always worked on these things. It's not new in the sense that we've always known that kids need to learn how to work together and also communicate effectively. But this year, we're really trying to align our language and give teachers a chance to work together on it for a couple of reasons. And we can go to the next one. The first is we want to use the same language to talk about these things so our kids can recognize that they're working on these skills across classroom settings and over time, because we want to be able to have the kids say, I am learning to be an effective communicator, or I can see how I'm growing as an inclusive collaborator. And we worked with the teachers to identify a specific set of learner characteristics. And teachers said that they would like to have some time to work together on how to integrate these things into their classrooms and learn together on how to teach students about what this language means, what it looks like to embody these skills. And so this is one of the key focus areas for this school year. And all of our sites are working on it. So if you are attending things like site council meetings or other parent leader groups at your site, you can ask your principal about it. Okay, thank you. We can go to the next area here. I'll pause there for a minute and just see, does anybody have a question that they would like to ask about any of the information that was shared so far? You could put it in the chat or you could raise your hand.
Allison, I have a question.
Yes.
Just a quick question. Are we gonna get this slide back later? I think it's gonna be really useful if I'm going to update community with all the information I'm getting today. And
Oh, great.
it would be
Yes.
great if I can get that slide back so that I can use some.
Yes. So we
Go
can
ahead.
share with you how to find it. All of it is publicly available. Do you want to explain that, Miko?
Sure. I put the link when I sent the email to you can link it to the agenda. It's all attached. This is the agenda, how you will see it, and you just click on each item and the slides are the attachments. And then if you cannot locate it or if you have problems, you can go ahead and send me an email and I can consolidate them all and send them to you if you can't access it that way. But I'll share the website in the chat also.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So all of
Uh-huh.
these meetings are logged it's in the same portal as you can find information from the board. So maybe we can send out a little explanation of how to find that. It's a new platform, so we moved out of Board Docs and into this Simbly, also called Gamut platform. So thank you for asking about that. It's great, and thank you for sharing the information. Okay. So one of the things that we are required to share annually is the link to where you can find the board policy on parent involvement and the AR on parent involvement. So what this means is that we have a large set of policies that our board members adopt. And these are based on the California School Boards Association recommendations. It's a legally reviewed set of policies that are shared with all public schools across the state, and then boards have an opportunity to customize if needed. So the policy is kind of that overarching. The BP means board policy, and then AR is the administrative regulation that provides a little more operational details. And really the main point here is we want to fulfill our duty to share that with you, but also just take that chance to re-emphasize that in addition to the strategic plan, our policies say that the governing board recognizes that parents, guardians are their children's first and most influential teachers, and that sustained parent guardian involvement in the education of their children contributes greatly to student achievement and a positive school environment. So we are very, very grateful for your engagement in this meeting and all the things that you do at your school site to be a part of what we do together for your children. And you can click on those underlined policies and the AR if you would like to, and we can go to the next item. Okay, I don't think I linked the calendar in there, so did I? Oh yes, thank you, Miko. You did that for me. Thank you very much. So the next meeting that we have scheduled is a DELAC meeting. Everyone is welcome to attend, but the purpose of that meeting is really to meet those legal obligations for meeting with parents of English learners. So Derek will be leading that next meeting on October 14th. And parents of English learners, it's really important that you're able to be there. Of course, everyone else welcome to attend as well. And principals who are on and parent leaders, if you have a role in this, sometimes it is hard for us to get those representatives from each school. So if there's any need for help on that on your campus, we really hope to use our parent networks to make sure that we do have a parent of an English learner. We're not able to have a parent who is not a parent of an English learner represent parents of English learners from their site. Sometimes that comes up as a question, but because the education code is specifically about making sure we're doing everything we can to support our English learners, we really do need to have parents of English learners in that role. So we can just double check that at each site, please. And then the next time we will get together as a whole group will be November. So we'll check back in on how things are going with our district priorities. We provide periodic updates on any of the major work that's happening. If there's a topic that you are hoping we will cover in our meetings this year, please feel free to put that in the chat or email me or Miko, and we can see if we can fit in areas of interest. And with that, I think we can bring this meeting to a close. Thank you so much, everyone, for making time to be here and learn about the role of this team. And thank you for putting these meetings on your calendar. Please reach out if there's anything that you need as you're going along in this role this year. Thank you so much.